Yeah, unfortunately, like, sorry for this to be on a tangent or so, right? Before we get into the video and everything. But I am a pretty serious type of person. Like, I don't consider myself as funny, compared to other VTubers. I don't consider myself as super entertaining, but it is what it is. But anyways, let's talk that after the video or so. But I want to get back to the main topic, at least here, because the do allegation, I saw this video popped up from Tom Dark or so, and I understand that Tom Dark doesn't like VTubers. I get it. I understand. That's fine. It is what it is. I'll respect his opinion at the end of the day, right? I still think he's a cool dude at the end of the day. I don't think he's like a bad person. Well, I don't know. Like I said, I haven't watched that many videos from him, but I watch videos from time to time or so. And he has an update or so about the do allegation, which I kind of want to take a look at. You're serious. Your serious is calm. It's different. Yeah, I'm super calm. I'm a very calm person. I'm not really as crazy or like ADHD crazy or anything like that. Basically someone who's like super hyper on sugar all the time, compared to other VTubers who are like super hyper, super loud, they're crazy, they're over the top sometimes, either with their moans and everything like that or other shenanigans. For me, I'm just kind of like, hey, what's up? Nice to meet you. I'm just a pretty average person.
The do allegations have gotten a massive update. As I said last time, you guys may know who the do is. He's a pretty popular YouTuber known for making Omegle videos where he would impress girls with his extremely rizful guitar skills.
Of course.
Well, sometime in early 2024, someone would post allegations to Reddit claiming that the do had been involved in some kind of grooming, some kind of sexual misconduct. But then the post just kind of mysteriously was deleted and nobody really understood why. But on September 3rd, the supposed victim would out herself as being named May, and she would post her own document coming forward with her story. Now, in the last video, I read the entire thing, and it was very confusing. It was very hastily put together. From what I could tell, May did know the do in some context, but I was having a really hard time figuring out if he knew her age or what her age was or how bad the interactions seemingly were, because in the sexual stuff and conversations about, like, the idea of sex, she was over the age of 18, seemingly, so I was having a hard time figuring out what was going on. Now, I know, obviously, grooming can be a complicated thing, grooming a kid until they're of age and then starting to do it, that can be a thing that happens, but I didn't really see evidence of that, so I was having a hard time figuring out what exactly was going on. It was just very, very perplexing to me, and I think a lot of people in the comments were perplexed too. Now, at the time, the do responded on Twitter, and he said, for some reason, someone decided to make some false accusations about me on Reddit today. The post got quickly nuked by Reddit, but just wanted to clarify to any of my viewers that may have seen it that it is completely false. But apparently, some people started giving the accuser some shit. And he said, harassment and threats are never acceptable in any situation. My previous tweet was only about a false Reddit post. That's the only problem here, no individual. So seemingly he was trying to stem any harassment that may have been going her way. But now a new document has been posted with a new explanation, and it's seemingly going a little bit deeper on the situation. It reads, a big chunk of the Goon's Discord staff, including me, have resigned from their positions in a big document that outlines a timeline of the whole the do grooming allegations. The document is linked below and includes a clearer timeline, more evidence than the initial document that was hastily put together, and also shows how many times a call and more evidence was offered to specifically Blarg. Now, if you don't know who Blarg is, he's also a YouTuber. He's a member of the Goon's PC group, which is like a little group that the do is a part of. So he's friends with them. He's friends with McNasty, friends with Sniping Soup. We're all just kind of collaborators of the do. Now, I want to really emphasize.
Oh, what the fuck? That's interesting. One of his own buddies, basically, kind of.
Here, these are just allegations as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
We're going to read the document and see what information it may provide. Maybe it'll be more convincing. Maybe it'll be less convincing. Maybe it'll still be as confused.
Lay it on me. Lay it on me.
For all intents and purposes, this is just an allegation made by someone else. I personally have no stance. I'm going to try to, critically analyze what's going on here and come to my conclusion. But as of now, I want you guys to just keep in mind this is an allegation. Take it with a grain of salt. Don't jump to any conclusions yet about the accuser, and don't jump to any conclusions yet about the do, because ultimately he is innocent until proven guilty in my eyes. And that's how these situations should be treated. You don't want to, falsely accuse someone. That's a bad thing to do. Now, the post reads, a big chunk of the Goon's Discord staff, including me, have resigned from their positions with a big document that outlines a timeline of the whole the do grooming allegations. Now, after mentioning Blarg and linking the document, they write, the document also clears up that the victim took down her posts because the death threats got so bad that the police had to actually get involved. It also goes into the Goon's Discord staff and several helpers who have seen more evidence from the victim, confirming that the evidence is not fake like Blarg had claimed, and it shows statements from ex-IRL friends of the do and ex-mods from his Discord that can corroborate that he treated only her like this and that they were closer than the two people with this age gap should be. Please refrain from asking why she didn't post all this from the start. She felt forced to clear her name after the initial doxing post, and the do claiming it's fake resulted in her getting harassed and receiving threats, so of course it was chaotic. It was the job of the goons to actually look into it more deeply and find what staff and other helpers ended up finding. Because you can't expect a victim to put their groomer on blast and risk their own privacy while they do it. So here they're making kind of a strong claim, right? They're saying, you know, the age gap was too wide, you should not have been having these kind of interactions with her, and they also link the document, so we're gonna get into that. The do grooming allegations timeline of events. Some Reddit links might not be working anymore, which is why we added screenshots.
Bro, how hard is it to not be a creep to young kids? Newsflash, it's fucking easy. Dude, what the fuck, dude? Like, you actually can't be serious with me.
As for context, for legal reasons, everything in this document is alleged. This information was given to us in a call before the victim of the situation had deleted a good chunk of it to protect herself from the death threats getting to a level where police were involved. For anyone not familiar that is seeing this document, Goons is the content creator friend group of the do. It includes Blarg, McNasty, and Soup. August 24th, a cyberstalker accuses...
The funny thing about it is that I know well, I don't know, but like I said, I know who McNasty is. The funny thing about this too as well is that I've been seeing McNasty show up in Vanos's gaming like gaming videos, like when they do, you know how like they do group gaming stuff like Gmod or whatever other shit, right? I've been noticing that McNasty sometimes will show up in theirs, and I think I could be wrong or so. I could be wrong because it's been a while or so, but I think he also maybe shows up in like one or two couple videos or so in H2O Delirious. It's very interesting to see maybe like he was kind of like, you know, maybe kind of getting a little bit farther away or so, trying to get some other connections with other people, you know.
Is the do of being a groomer in a Reddit post that also doxes the victim. The post gains traction. The post has since been removed by Reddit for doxing. And you can see right here, this is the initial post. The top reply from a mod reads, "The victim is clearly not happy with the fact that this is being talked about, and people are asking her about this, so I'm removing the post and locking the comments." August 24th and 25th. Do claims that the Reddit post was removed and that the allegations are false. He, 4 hours later, added to his first tweet, ignore the timestamp being 6 a.m. and 9 a.m. We obviously don't share a time zone. And here we just have the two tweets that he made, kind of refuting the allegations and also encouraging people not to harass this alleged victim. August 25th and 26th, the victim of the situation posts that the only reason he can claim it's false is because he expected her to never speak about it. The doxer also meticulously seems to follow every update of hers on social media, since he shortly after posted a link to the now deleted tweet of the victim on his Reddit account. And here we have a user called YD_throwaway7, and it says, "Good morning world, the pedos win again," and it says the victim's now made a public statement, and that victim's post is now removed, so we can't even see it. And people in the replies rightfully roasted this guy by saying, "No, the post got taken down because you were doxing someone who is supposed to be a victim. You shared personal information to thousands of people. You got taken down not because the accused or anyone with power shut you down. You got shut down because you were appearing like a little clout goblin who wants to shut someone down. You're not doing anything for the right reason, and this post confirms that." And if we read another reply here, it says, "I don't like the mod team either, but your evidence was flimsy at best, and you essentially doxed someone and acted without permission. Don't act like what you did was right. These are serious allegations, dude. Life ruining at that. If what you're alleging is in any way true, reach out to the victim or victims first before anything. I'm assuming you're operating in good faith here, so if you know anything the general public doesn't, I suggest you let the affected tell their story." Now going back to the document, it reads, under that post, her comment is also stating that she did not consent to anything about this being shared at the time. And here we have her replying saying, "I was absolutely not made aware of any of this or the fact that you posted my tweet. While you may argue that my tweet is now public, please do not speak for me or even lie about getting permission. I've only spoken to my loved ones in regard to the situation, and even with them, I have not given them permission to speak on my behalf." And people here are just telling her to lock down her social media. I'll reiterate here, don't seek out this girl, you know, whether the do is guilty or not, which once again, innocent until proven guilty. I think it's good that he doesn't want her to get harassed, and I would also agree, like, don't harass this girl. Don't contact her in any way. September 2nd and 3rd. Still receiving harassment, the girl hastily puts forward her own document outlining her story and some proof, stating that she can show more proof if needed. And this is the document that we read last time that I found kind of confusing. Now here they write, the evidence is a bit confusing and doesn't seem like much to some people, but it shows that Do had sleep calls with her when she was underage and he was in his mid-20s. Sleep calls are inherently not platonic, especially not with this age gap. There is and was also a video that showed a Discord conversation between them where he pushed her to tell him that she loves him, also when she was a minor. The doc also shows that he started dating her the month after she turned 18. While on the surface level, people will say that it's legal, it doesn't negate that he had to have built significant levels of attachment with her for that to have happened so quickly. She claimed that she felt pushed to speak out after the doxer had put her in a position where her experiences were labeled as false allegations by the do. And here we have a post from May saying, "I absolutely do not want this MF here. I never would have had to speak out if it wasn't for him." In the hours immediately after the post, a close friend of the victim and an ex IRL friend of the do, also made a comment on this thread that was confirmed by a mod of that subreddit. We can also confirm who this is. His name is Ricky, and we have had direct contact with him and proof that he was a friend of the do before finding out about all of this. And here we have a post from a user named Prudent Manor, and it says, I'm one of the people in the meetup picture, late to the friend group, but I had known them for at least 5 years. I can tell you that at the time of the photo, I had no knowledge of the nature between their relationship prior to her being 18, and upon finding out, I cut off my relationship with him. I've been supporting May for every step of the fallout of the relationship that she asked me to help her with between crying and finally helping her cut him off. And when she was ready, I helped her tell the rest of the friend group. It's quite a bit disgusting that people want to find every way to discredit her, or some of you that act like rats that want every nugget of information when someone was forced to speak out for themselves after such a terrible thing happened to her. But if anyone wants more clarification, they are more than welcome to DM me and I'll try my best to answer. This person, through a throwaway account, was confirmed by a Goon's Discord staff member as the person in the picture referenced. Knowing this person's name, it was also verifiable they had been referenced in the messages on Cord, which is the Do's server, around the time it was under a year old in 2017. The next morning, the victim made comments claiming several people could corroborate this information. And here we have a post of her saying, as of right now, I have 8 people, the number is growing as people wake up, who can corroborate my side of things with their own set of proof and conversations that I wasn't there for as well. In regards to the friends that cut him off, 2 out of 4 are willing to speak out publicly while the other 2 do not because their online aliases link back to their real name and personal information, but are willing to speak out if absolutely necessary. People other than my best friend and another former mod have not spoken out publicly because they're respecting me and giving me time to put the story out, because someone else has already leaked it multiple times and spoken for me without my consent. Now they write here, she also went into more detail about there being an 8-year age gap and that some claims of
8 years of a gap from each other? God damn.
her faking evidence are wild considering she can't just dox the do. And here May writes, I'm probably going to get yelled at for commenting this by my loved ones and the ones trying to protect my mental, so I don't know how long this is going to stay up. For clarification, please keep this in mind. This man is 8 years older than me. When we met, I was 15 and he was 23. Never once was he around the same age as me as some people keep saying. What do you expect me to do? I never ever wanted to come out about this.
Wow. 15 and he was 23. Granted, we haven't seen any proof, but like ain't looking too good.
Because I carry a lot of trauma regarding this and a lot of shame. I believe that I should have acted differently. I never should have engaged in anything and that I have fault in this, no matter how much anyone tells me I don't. I literally told this man in screenshots that you can all see about him being worried that this can ruin his career 10 years down the line, that I loved him and I would never do this to him, yet here I am doing it. In my documents, I never called him a groomer and I never called him anything else because I'm still struggling to label myself. How am I going to label him publicly before I can even look at myself? I don't want to be known as a victim. I don't want this to be out there. I don't want to have those who love me be disappointed in me or shamed my actions when I was a child or freshly 18. I didn't know any better. The other people in the photo have commented publicly, yet I'm a liar and a and I should be honor killed because I spoke about something in which someone was leaking without my consent and threatening to release more if I chose to speak out myself, which already led to me getting death threats.
Are you
when
serious?
They speak out, suddenly it's true? How is that fair? It's genuinely so fucking disgusting when this whole entire Discord server, which he is in himself and he runs, is agreeing with me because my situation's been floating in there for years since it happened. Don't believe me? Go check yourself. Want to know why I didn't come out sooner? I'm afraid I still am. I can barely handle receiving a flood of death threats at the current age of 23. You thought I could handle it at 18? Back then, I didn't have the support.
See, this would be, you know, I'm just gonna be honest with you. If she would have played Call of Duty or so back in those days or so, she'd be a-okay and handle a bunch of death threats. For the love of God, I got like a lot of them or so on fucking COD, so it wasn't really that crazy or anything like that. They think I was some hacking cheater whore or something like that, you know. A lot of people call me a lot of shit, to be honest. I'm just saying. That's why the only reason, like, if there ever comes to a day and age or so where like something like I start receiving death threats for something stupid or so or something like that, I'm gonna be like, yeah, okay, all right. I'm just saying.
System I
That's
do
it,
now.
you know?
Not only that, I'm afraid of him. I have panic attacks at the idea of his name being dropped. Hell, after his old friend group cut him off, I had a panic attack at seeing his name as a profile on Super Smash Bros. Still there. This shit hurts me so fucking badly because for the longest time, I felt guilty because I thought his friends cut him off because of me, not because our relationship was wrong. No matter how many times they told me it was because he had done something wrong and even said inappropriate things about me to them without my knowledge. Do you know how terrible it feels to see people you've known for 2 years cut off their closest friend because of you, someone they've known for at least 5 to 8 years? years. It's terrible. I genuinely wish I never met him, and I sometimes wish I wasn't here at all. You don't have to believe me. That's okay. Go around and check his very public Discord servers. Go ask the commenter who is pinned on this post saying he's one of the people in the photo. By the way, he has proof that is more than just that photo, or videos of them together and photos of them together without me in there. Go ask his current mod team who was there long enough. And finally, for those of you saying, well, we don't know if it's him in those photos, what the fuck do you want me to do? I leak his face, I'm damned. If I don't leak his face, I'm a liar. At this point, am I supposed to just leak this man's face and act like an angel when I've been preaching that the only reason I came out is because my privacy got breached? WTF am I supposed to do? Y'all will never be happy with what I come out with anyways, so tell me. I can't be everyone's perfect victim. That's just not possible. Now, she's obviously very, very distressed here. You know, I'm still gonna say she's an alleged victim here because it's difficult for me to tell exactly what happened in the exact timeline of when he knew her. I can tell definitely at one point that they were friends on Discord, and they were seemingly when she was 18, they were messaging at some point, but I don't really know if he knew her age on Discord. It's hard for me to tell exactly what was going on there, but we're gonna keep reading. During this time, a Goon's Discord staff member and an additional party that had contact with the victim previously attempted to establish contact via the friend that the subreddit mod had verified under the Reddit post, Prudent Manor 9012. This is the information that she wasn't comfortable sharing publicly online. The Goon's Discord staff member that had a direct line to Blarg tried to initiate the setup of such a call. And Blarg, as I said, is one of the dude's friends. So here at the top of the DMs are kind of cut off, but they're trying to set up some kind of conversation. And Blarg says, good to know, I would definitely value talking to them. Wouldn't want them to be intimidated, so probably wouldn't invite anyone else. The initiator of the messages then says, I think the call would just be myself, the other mod who's in contact with the victim herself, and the witness. But I can relay that you're interested, and the other person can schedule things up with us, and we can relay back. Would that be okay? They then write, but shortly after, he claimed all proof should be public and that he won't join the call. So here they say to Matt or Blarg, I think it's more focusing on how they interacted while she was a minor. I think she'd probably be able to explain it better than I can as a third party. I genuinely believe her speaking firsthand could be more solid than a document, plus there may be more she hasn't said. And Blarg here replies saying, I mean, feel free to read the twit longer for yourself. I haven't even talked to the dude. I'm literally looking at this from a third party perspective, not getting any sides from anyone. All I saw was goofy ass Snapchats, Discord calls with other people, gaming nights, and being in the same community. If she's going to post a huge allegation, then she needs to post all her proof. I shouldn't have to join a private call to hear. The world should absolutely know he is a predator if he is. And I basically agree with Blarg here. I think this is the way to go about it. You know, you don't want to just be like.
Also, another thing I wanna talk about
privately.
I've noticed that like the shine off his computer or so looks like he has like he has a white like line or so above his like eyelids or so. I don't know if you guys noticed or so. I thought it was like I don't know what he was doing or so, but I thought it was some kind of makeup or something, but it's not. It's some kind of it's from the monitor itself. So it kind of drew me off a little bit because there was such this weird white line going like above his eyelid and everything.
Interviewing this person without any further evidence or stuff like that. If the dude is some kind of predator.
See, look. Look how crystal white and clear that looks. You can see like a very visible line and everything on his face. And you know, I just kind of wanted to point that out or so because I was just like, it's like distracts me so much or so.
And at this point, May kind of wants to talk about it, even though initially it was against her will. The evidence should be out there so that stuff like that wouldn't happen again if it happened, you know? And here this person in the messages says, I get what you mean. In my opinion, the Discord things were more supposed to be proof that the texts he and she exchanged were real, as a lot of people will discredit it since Do is a content creator and she's just coming out with this now. A lot of people tend to immediately jump to saying that things are faked pretty quickly. I do think, however, that there could be more she didn't share since it may have his actual identity.
Yeah, of course.
The call is mostly to have an extra person who is all.
And I should agree with the victim due to personal stuff, but that being said, we do need more proof at this point. Yes. I think if the dude actually like did these kinds of things or so, you should probably, you know, pull it out there, you know, in my personal opinion.
Also there during the situation to corroborate and confirm things she says. They then write, the Goons mod then went into a call with the victim to see more of the proof and started being the middleman for some messages between the victim and Blarg. Once that call ended, the mod put emphasis on how helpful a call would be again. Blarg's reaction was once again negative. And here Blarg says, getting in a call with a bunch of people who don't like someone doesn't exactly bring much value to a pretty objective situation in my opinion. This person responds by saying, how the hell do you sit through hours on the computer? 2 hours and I was ready to throw myself on a treadmill. Blarg says 2 hours is usually my cap, and this person then says, I think that having them there because they were also his friends and kind of involved might prove beneficial, but I get what you mean with like emotional bias. And here they say, here is further proof of the call happening. This person, Miss Girl, says, okay, great. I do want to also state I completely get Blarg's point of view, but I'm not trying to ruin Eric's life. It was either me coming out myself or some random dude with a vendetta. I just wanted the death threats to stop. Ready to call when you are. And Snurdo says, I get you. I'm a bit foggy on how exactly it leaked entirely since I don't follow or support Eric honestly, and I get why you did it. All right, let me hop in on my computer. And I guess Eric here is in reference to the do. September 5th, the Goons mod was able to connect the two by having them follow each other on Twitter to talk directly. And here we have a post on r/goons saying Blarg followed Do's victim on X. The friends of May, some of whom are also ex-IRL friends of the Do, some of whom are server original gangsters of Do's server, sat in a call together with a member of the Goon staff team and a person that has been helping that staff member in all this chaos. All people present in that call watched the DM interaction between Blarg and the victim. In one of his first responses, he denied a call again, wording it like her friends being present would make the call biased. And here we have a message where he says, I have no intentions of ever covering up something or supporting someone who's done something extremely inappropriate. I have a bunch of things about this that I'm going to confront Eric about, meaning the Do. Sleep calls being one of them. I at no point said that there wasn't things I disagree with him doing here. There are plenty of things I plan on discussing with him and making sure he understands how I feel about them, that he should be made aware so that he can make sure it never happens ever again. I agree there was some stuff that was definitely odd and I personally wouldn't do. May, I can absolutely promise you that I have no intent to ever cover someone's ass. I was one of the first people to reach out to one of Craig's victims after it happened to make sure that they knew that even Craig's closest friends had her back. As for talking to a bunch of people in a call who don't like Eric, I'm not sure what I could gain from that unless they have some screenshots or something of him saying he wants to do sexual things with you while you were 17. And I think this has been like one of the biggest contentions is just, did he actually talk sexually with her while she was underage? And I think that's kind of the awkward position that Blarg is in here, is like, he's like, okay, I guess there's like some circumstantial evidence. There were some sleep calls maybe, and maybe they were friends on Discord, but he was having a hard time like trying to figure out what's actually going on here. Did he do something illegal? Did he do something objectively immoral, like, you know, talking sexually to somebody who's underage? That's what he's trying to parse out here. Now, the author of the document writes, she went on to send him 2 images as proof that Do had inappropriate pictures of her on his phone when she was underage. She sent a screen cap censored that showed the date of the original image and an image of Do making it his contact picture for her when she was around 18. More about that later in this document. She stated it was a sexually explicit image when Blarg asked if it was a nude, and she offered to screen record it to prove its legitimacy, as well as provide more evidence as well a bit later in the conversation. Blarg responded, stating that he would add it to the list of things to bring up to the Do. Blarg did not react to the offers for more proof from the victim. Now here, when writing to Blarg, they say, thank you for letting me know. Once again, if you ever want to get more info, I can show you via screen share, or you can talk to his ex-friends alone. Nobody truly hates him. They just hate what he did. Now, Blarg says, that's reasonable. I would seriously hope he feels the same way and is able to acknowledge it and never let it happen again. Now, in response, this person says, I know it's hard to believe when I wouldn't 100% believe someone who wouldn't put everything out, but at this point with the photo, I'm hoping you at least understand that this is grooming. If you need proof that he sent that contact photo to me and it's not from some random number, I can show you that it is his number and the image was sent from that number. I have nothing to hide from you at the end of the day. Now here they write, the entire conversation, Blarg made it sound like if Eric owned up to it in private, that it would make it less bad. Here he says, well, I appreciate you sharing everything. Again, Eric's reaction to this is all that really matters to me. I hope he's able to admit fault where there is some, and then move on with his life and you're able to move on with yours. Blarg has also turned down the offer the victim proposed of sending a screen recording and sharing all the evidence live numerous times. She openly and repeatedly offered to prove that none of the photos or pieces of evidence were fake or doctored. Blarg never asked for more proof, simply stating that speaking with her was enough for him. So here this person messaging him says, could have biased opinions. I'll reiterate that I still think it's good to hear them out since they know both parties. He said, I've heard from May. That's really all I need, to be honest. September 6th. Now this is mentioning me actually. I could see my house from here. During this time, a YouTuber of the name Tom Dark uploaded a video looking at the proof that was out up until this point. It gained enough traction to make the involved Goon staff try one last time to suggest a call to Blarg. This time his refusal was a resounding absolutely not. So this person said, alright, so Tom Dark posted a video about the doc that's picking up steam, and honestly at this point it could even hurt May. I know she sent you proof of Do getting an explicit picture from her when she was 16, and that might already be enough for you. And if yes, then you ignore the rest of this message, Lamau. I also know
getting an explicit image when she was 16? Oh shit. Ooh, this is bad. This is really bad. This is really bad if this is true.
know there is more story and evidence she mentioned to us that illustrates the whole process of the grooming better. That's why people have been pushing for a call so much, because obviously she would never feel comfortable putting that out there. As a reminder, and then we have some redacted information, but I'm not exactly sure what that is. But essentially here they're saying, hey, May sent you proof of, you know, her sending him an explicit image when she was 16. Obviously she doesn't want to post that publicly because, you know, underage stuff, you can't really do that. But they're saying, hey, I know May sent you this thing, and I think you need to like critically look at it or hop on a call with us to talk about it. But Matt said, I would strongly recommend all of you remove yourself from this until the dude says something. I'm absolutely not getting in a call with anyone. Please stop asking. So he here seems to be convinced that maybe there's more context that would change things. He never directly acknowledges this idea here.
Wait, if she sent that to him as proof, isn't that also bad, lol? Unless like he's asking for it, you know?
In this DM in particular, that he has seen that proof, so that's also interesting. But
or basically forcing her. Remember, the dude groomed her, so allegedly.
Yeah, it seems like he was like willing to hear them out, and then at some point he's kind of deciding to like retract himself from the situation because he's like, there's probably more to the story. I'm just gonna let the dude respond, and I recommend all of you do that too. Now, I do want to make it clear here that my intention with that first video was never to like discredit May or something like that. There could be more proof behind the scenes that could, you know, prove the dude is guilty somehow, but realistically, I didn't see it. I'm just looking at this from the public-facing perspective of all the information that's come out so far. So I'll reiterate once again, you know, innocent until proven guilty, but by the same token, don't go and harass May or something like that, you know, because it is possible that she's a victim. A couple hours later, he unfollowed both the victim and the goon's Discord staff member on Twitter without explanation. And here we have the timestamp September 9th. This explanation followed a day after his final refusal on the evening of September 9th, when he claimed in a comment underneath a related Reddit thread that he was able to prove that the evidence she sent him was fake. And here, Blarg on Reddit writes, okay, I was absolutely not going to talk about this due to their own request, but they gave me a piece of evidence that I took their word for and said I would approach Du about. This entire interaction happened before I talked to Du about anything. I later fact-checked that evidence extremely objectively using things anyone can Google and without Du's involvement whatsoever. If they decide to show what this evidence is, you can Google dates for yourself and when certain things were available on iPhones. This evidence I was shown was fake and manipulated, so that is when I cut ties with them. So he seems to be under the impression that the evidence he received was completely fake, and that's potentially why he got cold feet. He was like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. It looks like this is being faked somehow, but, you know, as they explain in the next paragraph, he never explains that to them. This comment never explains what makes him think the images he was sent are fake or doctored. Blarg was sent 2 images. One of them was an explicit image the victim had sent to the dude when she was 17. The image was taken when she was 16. The other image was of the dude making the lewd picture a contact picture when she was 18. It was there to show that the dude had that image saved for a large chunk of time before using it. Blarg is not given a specific reason as to why he believes these images were fake and doctored to begin with, only making a general comment about iPhone features. All suspected reasons that he would believe this evidence to be faked can with the known fact that the victim and the dude both used Apple's iOS beta functions. This is further explored in this document later. We have seen, 1, the picture's original date, May 4th, 2018, 11:40 p.m., with her being 16 at the time. The time frame it was sent on Snapchat a couple months later with her being 17, and the fact that the dude made it his contact image for her on October 10th, 2019, when she was only 3 months into being 18. The victim was open to show us that she had never sent the image to him on iMessage, since the dude only started using an iPhone in 2019, which can be seen in his videos. Anything sent before their interactions via iMessages would have been sent by her as a minor. We also got to see their Discord chat logs, which showed the image not being sent there either, so it had to have been the original image sent on Snapchat when she was 17 that was saved by the dude on Snapchat back then, transferred to his iPhone, and then made into a contact image in October 2019. Unfortunately, since both the dude and the victim have each other blocked, there is no access to the Snapchat.
Oh, okay. Yes. Okay. Interesting. Man, this is definitely this is interesting.
Chat history itself. She showed us that in a call, which you can see in this video.
This is like my group chat with Ricky. As you can see in this corner, it says the do. And I'm gonna click on this group chat. It's called Fuckers, and then I'm gonna scroll to the members. You can see the first person in this group chat is Eric.
God damn, you can barely see shit, man. I can see the fucking pixels. You can count the pixels on this goddamn video. It's so hard to see.
I don't have him added, and he doesn't have me added. If I try to go to our chat, I can't. I'd have to, like, our chat is gone. Sorry, here. He's still active on this.
Oh, there it is. You can see it. You can barely see it.
But,
it's called the do. It says right there.
This is a group chat with him and other people. Like, he's typed in this. Like, this was our.
But it's
our
so
little
hard to
group chat
fucking see, dude. I can
here.
barely fucking see it, dude.
But yeah, so like that's at
Girl, turn on the saturation. Fuck, I can see the void from here. Fuck.
least the Snapchat. Like, I can't access our chat, and he can't access our chat anymore because we like essentially unadded and blocked each other.
I can't
so
even
there's
see.
So as they explain there, that's just her showing that they blocked each other on Snapchat. Here they say, either way, knowing he initially received it when she was 17 means he knew what he was putting as his contact image for her, an explicit image of a minor. The victim has stated that she is attempting contact with Snapchat in an effort to receive the chat logs between her and the do from before late 2019. Now, just keep in mind here so far, I mean, obviously, we personally haven't seen this evidence that he supposedly received an explicit image of her.
Yep,
I mean, they
that's
have
true.
dates that they're listing here. They have proof that they blocked each other, but we don't have that specific thing. And you can kind of take two takeaways from this. Either you can think that they're lying or something like that. You can think they're, you know, this whole document's full of shit, or you can go into it with the thought process and understanding that they don't want to release it publicly because they don't want to release a, you know, explicit image of a 16 or 17-year-old girl to the public for the entire internet to see, right? And here we have a message from Miss Girl, who is May. It says, October 10th, 2019, sent the contact photo after I sent him other photos. For context, other photos in this case were Snapchats that were described in the iMessage chat, which we could see in our call with the victim, and part of which is in this Google Drive folder. And then it says, parentheses, do having explicit images of a minor saved on Snapchat for 2 years, where you can see that the October 2019 date stamp and
Just wondering, say the situation involves the courts, wouldn't sending stuff like that might get that evidence thrown out or something? Who knows, actually, to be honest. I don't know how the legal system works when it comes to that situation itself.
the descriptions in the chat from that day that we saw do not match this picture, and he made the profile picture further backing up that it was originally sent when she was 17 and had been saved since that time. And here we've got this Google Drive folder open, and if we click into the images here, this message from October 10th, 2019, the do apparently says, I'm gonna have to open those later, Lamau. She says, open it now or I'm gonna delete them. Open it, take the risk, pussy. He says, you want her to like you, right? So these are messages they're saying are from the do that are in reference to these Snapchats being sent, these explicit Snapchats, supposedly when she was underage. Here, I forgot, she said his contact name to groomer. It says, you want her to like you, right? She says, make sure she doesn't see it, then open it. He says, fine, fucking, you're a bitch. She says, why? He says, I don't have anything. She says, do you want more? I sent them, huh? Did you already open them? Then click out. I'll send them again, lol. He says, there's nothing. She says, it says you opened. And here we have, it looks like a contact photo that says right titty with a censored image right there under the contact. Here, this is what looks like a very blurry photo, but it seems to be showing Snapchat photos, I think. Here in this next screen recording, they're basically just showing that she has messages with this guy that she's saying is the dude, that she's saying is the groomer, and she's just scrolling through, you know, the history, basically showing that they have a bunch of messages together over iMessage, a bunch of crazy screenshots and stuff there. And then we have here a contact saved as right titty. Here, May writes, so it's going to take some time for me to find the exact date that Eric made that photo my contact photo, but I can show the date it was saved. I can tell you Eric made that photo my contact photo when we were dating, so after I was 18. Here are the DMs with Blarg. Here's the day the photo was saved. The screen recording of my DMs with Blarg is sending. Unfortunately, for the exact day it's saved, I don't have, as I showed Ozzy, I can't go back to my Snapchat with Eric and see unadded me. I can't even see our saved messages. I can go on call and show that I can't go through our Snapchat history anymore if they'd like more proof. And we saw that recording of her going on call and showing that. We have a screenshot here that just says delete snap, and here it just shows all of the various images they've sent over time, you know, through their iMessage DMs. And here we have a screenshot of a Snapchat. I think this is an explicit Snapchat that he supposedly saved as her profile photo, but it's just showing that it's in their chat somewhere. Here she writes, I can give you all the HTML file of my DMs with Eric too. The photo is from May 2018. Eric had the photo, and then here they write added context sent to him when she was firmly 17. After I turned 18, I wasn't sending.
Pretty sure Mr. Lexify X posted something like that on Twitter, and she got banned and was under investigation because of it. I see. Like, I don't remember clearly, but I remember hearing something about where someone recorded evidence, but because it was technically illegal, the evidence was thrown out or disregarded.
Photos around of when I was underage because I knew the legal implications. Snurdo says iOS 11, then I think valid. She says, if I'm 100%, I don't think Eric had an iPhone when I sent the photo, which is why we used Snap originally. Otherwise, the photo would have been sent on iMessage with the other ones. The photo was transferred from a Samsung. If I'm correct, I can double check. You can also see I never sent the photo over iMessage. In response to Blarg's Reddit comment, the victim even sent the photo proof for at least the contact image part, with censoring obviously. And here we have a post from r/the goons, which reads, the allegations are somewhat true. Blarg himself says here the do has some fault. These are taken from May's Twitter before she deleted it a few hours after. Tired of seeing MF say they're confirmed false with absolutely no source, just, oh, it doesn't make sense for him to do that. He's not a file, she was 18. All this shit is really just he dated tweeted a fan and he shouldn't have done that. Now here May writes to Blarg saying, I have so much shame when it comes to this. Blarg says, I will absolutely not, May. I will never bring up anything publicly you yourself don't bring up. She says, I hate that I even had to show you this to prove it. He says, something that's going to be very important here is how he reacts to everything I bring up. I'm hoping it goes the correct way, which would be guilt and an understanding that this should never happen again. If he goes the Craig route and has an excuse for everything, it will be very telling in my opinion. Here he says, I appreciate you sharing everything. Again, Eric's reaction to all this really matters to me. I hope he's able to admit fault where there is some and then move on with his life and you're able to move on with yours. And then we have here this Reddit reply from Blarg where he basically says that he thinks the evidence is fake now. He still has not explained what specifically about the proof is making it fake to him, especially since it would need to explain how both images he was sent were fake. However, he based the fakeness, we assume, on the iOS 13 update with both the do and the victim using Apple beta. The first public beta of iOS 13 started a month before the victim turned 18, so Blarg using that as definitive proof of the evidence being fake is shaky at best, if he based it on specifically dark mode. Smart invert was a feature for iOS 11 and 12 too. Even with him not personally understanding that it was a contact image down the line in October 2019, the explanations he's probably using to claim it is fake are not definitive proof of fakeness or being from after she turned 18. And here they write, here's extra proof of the do having an Android prior to around the time the victim turned 18, and they have a drive folder here. Here May says, wow, I'm sorry, but like you have an Android, and the first thing that popped into my mind was that emoji in the Android version. Now here they have a screenshot of Blarg having an Android in the 2018 era, a Samsung Galaxy series phone. Samsung user, dude? Jeez. That's like the worst thing he did. After Blarg went public claiming the evidence was fake, the victim reached a tipping point and tapped out of discussing this further in public due to death threats, getting to a point where she had to get police involved to make sure she and her loved ones were safe. But she gave everyone that she is close to and knows about her past a green light to talk about it, which is one of the main reasons we're writing this document. Obviously, we still respect her wishes to keep some of the proof that could dox her or others out of this document. Alright, this brings us to September 10th in the timeline. Shortly after Blarg's claims, the person helping the goon staff members out in the situation made a Twitter thread outlining the lack of proactivity from Blarg and McNasty. It includes images of Blarg refusing a call 4 different times, in addition to putting a lot of the situation into perspective for people who have only seen the Reddit posts up until this point. And here we have a thread from Roo Wag, and they say, okay, let's get this straight at its Blarg. After the document in May dropped, you denied a call on 4 occasions and have done zero work trying to get info, such as, for example, Dew's current admin team who would corroborate May's info. You got one piece of info, were offered more, and instantly acted like you didn't need to see more. I don't think you understand how many people have seen May's side of things at this point. We all see that you just want your bro innocent. The moment Goon's Discord mods found out, one of them got in a call with the victim and saw all the evidence you would have seen if you got it together and joined a call like anyone else that claims time and time again to stand with victims. More about the call topic below. May offered you a screen recording to prove what she sent you was real. You declined. She sent you a Snapchat screenshot showing the date of the pic you were given when she was 16, and you based the fakeness of it on I have yet to know. I'll not post the pics of that whole DM interaction between you and May on here, but a full call of people was there to see that happen, and this is what May said less than a day ago. So she says, first of all, the messages were sent in my Discord server, which someone from there has leaked it here. Second of all, I offered multiple times to show you proof of me scrolling through her messages to show that this wasn't edited or manipulated as you so claim it to be. Never once did you take me up on that offer. All I did was scribble out the photo in which you can see intimate parts of my body and show you the date that it was saved on Snapchat and the fact that he had it. I truly don't care what Eric is told at the end of the day. A photo of my 16-year-old body is wrong, and he had a photo of it on his phone. Because you are unwilling to hop on a call with me, your mods hopped on a call with me, and I scrolled through endless messages with them to show I wasn't lying, nor did I fabricate anything. Here, Rayo writes, just for good measure, here is 4 times you declined the call and your reasoning already showing you were in favor of it not being true all along. And here we have the screenshots we already saw from the document where basically he just doesn't want to hop on a call. Here she says context for number 2. The second time you refused was after your mod got into a call with the victim after asking the first time for a call, saw some evidence and tried to tell you again what a call would help. Your reaction is partially understandable but also wild. And here Blarg writes, well, as of now I see no reason to interview them. If I see something that challenges my current opinion, I'll be there faster than anyone. I've dropped friends from this before and I've publicly ridiculed them, and this will be absolutely no different. Here we have this last screenshot that we've already seen, but the middle screenshot reads, if she feels like there's something I should really see that goes beyond what was shown, she can reach out and DM me privately on Twitter. Other than that, I wish her the best and hope she can finally move on and leave this baggage behind. Thank you very much for relaying. I'm very sorry you got mixed up in that, but I appreciate it nonetheless. Here Rayo writes, the contact person even explained the other ex-friends of Eric might have beneficial information. Those people wouldn't have yelled at you. They are average dudes like you that have seen Eric's behavior, as simple as that. They just want this resolved as well. The thing is, you didn't just refuse the call 4 times, you literally agreed to it at the very start before doing a 180 and demanding all evidence to be public. This is the 180 that was pulled in under 4 hours after the mod trying to set up the call the first time they asked.
I'd be curious if he actually like asked his friend the doer, so because like dude, he's like really close with the doer, so, and then he doesn't want the do, you know, I guess to go down in flames, I guess, or go down in smoke.
Here they write, I get
Hey,
the idea that
Darkits.
all evidence should be public, but we're talking about explicit images, chat logs with personal info, and more here. A bit bad to have that on the internet forever, don't you think? Plus, you knew the other reasons why not everything was instantly put public. And just to get this clear, I found someone talking about her case before it was public, and because I fucking talked to her and took a call with her, I've seen and heard more than enough of the information to know it was true. I was in a call with her when the docs Redditor posted. I've essentially been here since a couple of days before it blew up. Most of Dew's server
Granted, at the end of the day, these are allegations, but so far, at least, but granted, the stuff that we've seen so far doesn't. Granted, like she didn't show everything, right? But at least for some of the stuff, and a lot of and especially like her talking to the moderators and stuff like that, it's definitely not looking very good, to be honest.
OGs are with her. Majority of Goon's Discord staff are with her. Me, someone who works with this stuff in a different community and knows what grooming looks like, is with her. I've never seen someone so vehemently deny a call to get full information. Genuinely, I had to.
That's the weird thing about it too. The victim offered him 4 times, and he denied them 4 times to get in a call to see the evidence live, right? To see the recording, and she literally offered to do it here. I'll do it to you live, or so here. I'll even fucking show it to you and everything. But he denied it like 4 times, which is very, very weird in my personal opinion. He says that he'll drop anybody, right? But so far it's not really proving myself here. That it doesn't look like it to me, in my personal opinion. If you want to actually know and take a look at the information, or so, you should probably take a look at it, in my personal opinion. But all the mods know, apparently. So, but for this guy specifically, you know.
Literal perpetrators hop on a call with me faster in my social work to admit their shit. It's frankly crazy to be offered more so many times, deny it, and then claim the victim is faking. Also, please explain how McNasty, who's been reached out to as well by this full Discord staff team, didn't even try to find out more. Y'all didn't put any work in to empathize or fully listen to the girl. You acted like you wanted it to be fake from the start. I understand that May's doc can be confusing, but that doesn't negate that a mid-20s guy had sleep calls with a 16 to 17-year-old, that he had inappropriate pictures of a 16-year-old saved on Snapchat, and that he messaged her and had feelings for her only 1 month after she turned 18. She had been open to a call. All her friends, who are ex-friends of Eric, offered to be there both as emotional support and to corroborate some of the information. The mods in question were open for a call because they saw the evidence. You, Matt, refused full clarity. Never call yourself someone that's on the side of victims again, because someone on the side of victims would have seen all the evidence several days ago in a call. Because some things don't fucking belong on the internet, and often those biased calls are what clears these cases. In fact, I work with this shit in part of the music industry, and 90% of it usually depends on clarity calls. That's a normal thing to do when evidence can't be posted publicly for various reasons. You're supposed to get both sides full biased takes before sifting for facts.
Yep.
Honorary mention for this because you genuinely act like the one thing she sent you was the only thing when she offered more on several occasions, and then said what you got was fake based on phone features. Here he says, I've heard from May, that's all I need, to be honest. And then here we have his various posts on the subreddit. We have the one we already read. In response to one user, he says, I'm not on the fence, my opinion is very strong one way. And
No, you're misunderstanding, Cypress.
Actions will reflect that. Here he says, I appreciate the kind words. After talking through the situation with friends and people who don't know any of the involved parties, I feel quite at peace with my beliefs on it. Here they say, note, this thread was made with the consent of the victim, the friend currently helping her make decisions while she's obviously going through it, and the person who tried to create contact between Blarg and the victim 3 times. This thread wouldn't be posted if you didn't assume based on iPhone features that her evidence was false and unfollowed both the victim and the person putting you in contact, because we had more than enough people to put you in contact with it to back up the accusations. Yeah, I think that from the perspective of Blarg, probably what he should have done is just never gotten involved in the first place at all, or if he did get involved, he should have just kept it private, basically. If he's going to make a claim about the evidence being fake or something like that, he probably should be willing to provide some kind of proof of that rather than just saying it's fake and then not really elaborating on it, because, you know, let's say the evidence is real, let's say that there is some truth to the situation, he's kind of publicly putting out doubt about it, you know, among the goons, PC, whatever fan base. Maybe he is right somehow, you know. It seems to me that there was some kind of interaction they had that could be inappropriate, but once again, we haven't even seen the dude's response yet, so it's ultimately resting on how he responds to this and how that goes. I think another thing that
I'd be interested if, wait, did he, I doubt that he responded to the situation, right? Let me see. Oops, I did not mean to do that, actually. Is that what he looks like? No, that's not what he looks like. No, he hasn't. No, he has not. He has not talked about it. The last thing that was uploaded so was just a new video about the dude, and that's it. Interesting. Interesting.
that I will give Blarg a little leeway for here is, like, realistically, when allegations are being made about someone and the evidence is not being posted publicly, it's hard to be in a position where you're being pressured to publicly support those accusers when you can't even publicly provide the evidence yourself, you know, because they're saying the most damning evidence they don't want to release. And I think there are understandable reasons why, if, you know,
plus also at the same time, you know, like, it's your boy, right? It's your best friend and whatnot, right? You can't, like, it's just, you just don't want to believe it, you know? Like, that's also another thing as well, because, like, you know, when you're really close friends with somebody and then some allegations come out or so about the situation or so, you're just like, what the fuck? I like, there's no way I can believe this, you know? There's no way that my boy he's good, man. He's the GOAT, man, you know, and everything like that. But then, you know, you find out later that, yeah, he did these things, and then you're just kind of like, holy shit, you know? It's a thing that you just don't want to believe in, you know?
he is guilty or he's not guilty, why they wouldn't want to release it, because, you know, ultimately it seems to be explicit images of a minor supposedly, but realistically from his perspective, he doesn't want to be having to publicly condemn someone,
especially if you're super close with him,
or he could be caught up in some kind of, you know, false allegation situation maybe.
Yeah,
so I think
that too as
well for, you know, him at this point definitely to just wait for how the do responds and then go from there basically. Here she writes TLDR of what led up to this thread for those confused. 1, someone doxed Do and the victim. 2, Do said claims are fake. 3, victim came forward. 4, Matt gets one piece of evidence he claims is fake but denied any clarification through screen recordings as proof through calls. Here in the document they continue to write, with all the DMs between our staff member and Blarg being in this Google Drive folder, which we already read those, and all the DMs between the victim and Blarg being in this Google Drive folder, it can be seen in total Blarg declined encouragements and straight up asked for a call with the victim and ex-IRL friends of the Do 5 times. It can also be seen that the victim offered more proof twice in their DMs without pushing for a call, once for the specific images she sent and once offering more in general. Now here, skipping ahead a bit to photos that we haven't already seen of their conversations. Here May writes, here's a message from him making my contact photo on iMessage, a photo of my boobs when I was under the age of 18. I'm obviously blurring it out, but here we go. I'm scrolling to the exact day he had sent it, but for now I just went into our iMessage images and found the photo with my number and went back and found the month and date on Snapchat in which I took the photo. And here we have her showing a screenshot of the contact photo basically that he apparently had saved of her. And here she's obviously censoring a lot of stuff, but she's showing the date is May 2018, which according to her is when she was underage. Here she says, I was born July 19th, 2001. If you don't believe this is real, I can screen record while blurring it and go to it. Here he says, would just like to clarify, is that a nude photo? Here she says, you don't see both of my breasts, but you see one. It's more lewd or sexually explicit. He says, okay, that's good to know. I'll definitely add it to my list of things to bring up to him. Thank you for doing that. That's obviously not right, and I will discuss it with him. Here she says, please, 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 for the love of God, if you speak about this in public, do not bring up that photo. That's one of many things I was trying to hide. I have so much shame when it comes to this. Now here he says, I appreciate you sharing everything. Again, Eric's reaction to all this really matters to me. I hope he's able to admit fault where there is some and then move on with his life and you're able to move on with yours. And here he says, oops, didn't mean to unfollow, just figured you should see this, with a link to my video going over the first document. If you don't want it public, I'd recommend reaching out to the channel. And she says, Ozzy just informed me I'm letting them and my loved ones watch it first because I'm really not in the headspace to watch anything at the moment. Also, on the advice of Ozzy and a couple of my friends in the space, I put out a little minor statement just to stop people DMing me about it. Not meant to put pressure on you at all, but to kind of get people off my back. Thank you for the heads up though. Now for full transparency here, I did receive an email seemingly from people involved with the situation who wanted me to look at their further evidence for this kind of stuff. My whole thing is just, I don't want to get involved in these kinds of allegations personally. I'm not going to be the first guy to publish this kind of stuff because then, you know, my reputation is completely at risk if that information turns out being false or something. So all I'm willing to do is look at the public information that other people have already posted and go through it that way. I'm not going to personally get involved in this story and parse through evidence that is collected by other people and me be the first source for that to be published on my channel. And also with a situation like this, I don't want to see, you know, private proof of something that I can't show publicly, but then I have to like make an assessment about it. You know, I don't want that to affect my bias because, you know, let's say that the evidence turns out being fake, or let's say it's real. It kind of puts me in an awkward situation where if it is real and I'm publicly claiming it is real, but I can't show it, how the fuck, like, why should anyone just take my word for that, you know? And then on top of that, let's say it is false, obviously that.
I do find it strange that they more or less kind of expect them to condemn their friend alongside the others. Like, no one is obliged to do so. Sure, I can condemn someone, but if the law doesn't do shit, I don't mean shit. I don't mean shit either. That
opens me up to a big situation there. Now, I will say, they have provided more convincing stuff here, seemingly, of, you know, corroborating dates and stuff like that, and the Do has yet to respond, so that's a little concerning, but once again, he could respond, and maybe he'll be able to change this around a little bit. I haven't totally decided how this is going to go yet, you know? It's a very complicated situation. It's more complicated than most YouTube exposés are. Now here in the document they write, we've collected some of the things that Blarg would have seen if he had agreed to join a call. Obviously, there are some things we can't share because they aren't for the public. However, we want to outline just how much Blarg declining a call is directly connected to the victim being dismissed unfairly, when there is more than enough proof of grooming that she would have shown to Blarg, with her giving full context for each piece of evidence. Alright, so here, this is like where the real stuff apparently is going to happen. Here they say a telltale sign of grooming a minor is flirting with them and building a close attachment with them. This can include, like in this case, giving the minor inappropriate nicknames, asking them to say I love you, and giving them insight into family matters. While flirting to many is not a crime, a pattern of small actions that shouldn't happen between an adult and a minor is still very much the beginning of a grooming relationship. In this Google Drive folder, we've collected several instances that we categorize as flirting because all of us publishing this document would never talk like that with someone that's a minor. And here we have a screenshot here with like the Discord info tag on the bottom showing I guess that it's real. And here the dude apparently says, I said you logs are good EXP. She says, nah, just said love you. He said you is true. She says you is a country for you. Here we have a screen recording where May says yes because apparently one of the mods told him. Dude says that's funny. Also thanks for being so nice, May. Heart emoji, such nice words. May says he felt bad, so like he dragged the other guys out and asked me, Eric, you're actually a oh my god. Then we have blocked messages. May says a couple minutes later, I do not. So we're gonna let the screen recording play.
Hey, Lukeeved16. Thanks for the raid. Every viewer can.
All right, let's continue, shall we?
So she's unblocking the messages here, and we can see him saying like right after I left just now, you love me, I know, with a heart emoji. This next one, she says like a couple minutes later, I do not. He says, damn, well, I love me. She says, I'm glad you love you. He says, we both love me. She says, if I say I love you, will you stop? He says, if you tell the truth, I will stop. She says, okay, but which truth? The truth is different based on the person. He says, the fuck is that logic? The truth is the truth, and the truth is you love me like everyone. She said, join the VC so I can argue with you via voice. I'm playing Overwatch. Here in this next unblocked message, the dude says, no, I'm talking to Spoon, you white man's whore.
It's not looking good, Bev.
She says, first of all, you have no place to call me white man's you fucking colonizer. Second of all, some things are perceived differently, so truths may be different. Third, what do I have to do to stop you from being a cuck boy? Fourth, you're talking to your man crush. Now in the next message she unblocks, it says, Spoon isn't my crush, man. He's more than that. He's the only 100% real person I've met that's a YouTuber and streamer online that I can actually trust. Here she says, aw, that's adorable. He responds saying, you know what else is adorable? How much you love me. She says, who said I loved you? He says, I can tell. No one had to tell me. Also, because everyone else does. May says, well, you should know I'm not like everyone else. He says, okay, I'm done with this. I really
That's so weird. Like the dude is like pressuring her to say like yeah, just admit that you love me, you know, because everyone else loves me. Man, that's like a what's the definition or so for this actual situation itself, right? Is that like God complexion or something, or like is it narcissist? Is that what it is? Man, dude, it's so weird. He's like still pressuring her after what, a while now?
really tried with you today. She says, I love you, dumbass, are you happy? He says, I don't even believe you, frick off. She says, bro. And the other messages are dated around like 2018, 2019, and definitely seem to show some kind of flirt.
Oh, okay, hold up. Don't just skip by them or so.
And the other message.
I'm sorry, whose friends told me, whose friend told them to fuck me because it wasn't mine? My name's Eric and May calls me Tyler because this song is about a young girl and a older guy.
Messages are dated around.
What the fuck is a Tyler? Yeah, stop thinking. I want you to intentionally send me stupid things every day and not delete them. It has something to do with a song, and I don't know, it reminded me of you, and I'm not telling you what song because you're gonna make fun of me anyways.
Around like 2018, 2019.
Heart, no, heart, and then she says the N-word. Why are you awake? The dude says editing, and then May says, yikes, I pray for your poor soul. Says, yeah, gotta get it up tomorrow. Also, no sad face, I assume. Those heart emojis. Why no? I gave you so much love and good luck. I believe in you. 19 and definitely seem to show some kind of flirting going on. Now, I think that a big contention here and point of contention is going to be that's gay as fuck. I know. That's adorable. That's adorable and smart, and I'm proud of you. Don't make me feel gayer than I already am. That's not possible. You're already at max gay. One last question before I go back to work. Siege video or smash?
to be whether the dude knew at this point what her age was, but if he did, I think it's going to be hard for him to respond to this kind of thing because, you know, it's
A lot of these are. Oh, that what a precious demon, cutest shit ever. Also, go to sleep, fuck before I hurt you. Hey, homie, what are you doing? Working on guitar stuffs, or you could send what you started to type earlier. Oh shit, sorry, Lamau. Didn't know what I didn't know that I didn't send it. I said never. I think that's never mind. I think just bored. I could, but I'll be in that kind of ignoring you state. Are you like just playing songs and stuff, going through PSN messages trying to see if there's anything good? Oof. IDM. I don't know what IDM stands for. It's up to you if you're going down.
it's not a good look to be flirting with somebody who's this age. Now, here in this message from
You did great, kid. Heart, kid, child, 12 years old. What the fuck? I won't be a child in a month, fucker. I'm a virgin. How can I be a fucker? Fuck her. I barely know her. What?
2019, he says, you did great, kid. She sent a bunch of hearts. He said, kid, child, 12-year-old. She says, I won't be a child in a month. Fucker. The dude says, I'm a virgin. How can I be a fucker? She says, fucker, I barely know her. So here, they do seem to be acknowledging the fact that she is underage at this point in time. 17 and 11 months, at least in 2019. And we also have, based on the messages in 2018, it seems like he was willing to flirt with her as much as a year earlier. Here they say, in this Google Drive folder, inappropriate closeness, we collected instances of inappropriate closeness, including a picture that is a sexual joke being sent by the dude to the victim when she was underage, but also a small bit of a conversation about family matters, him not denying that she has a chance with him, and then meeting up at a restaurant when she was a minor. Here we have a DM from 2018 when she
Okay, let me see. Hey, bitch, I have a question for you. Yeah, what's up? So, like, we being honest here, Chief, okay? So I talked to Jared for an hour-ish today, and he brought up, and my gay crush, maybe I misunderstood this, but what he told me is that you guys had talked about in the past couple of days is recently, and you said something along the lines of May has absolutely no chance with me. I don't care if you did say that, but that just sounds like something Jared would say, and he brought it up after how he was salty, that he was the last one to know about Wednesday. Plus, like, I don't know, it feels sketch since I legit brought up to you this week that I legit brought up to you this week that that's what Jared been saying to me for a hot minute. Sorry, her English is pretty bad. Actually, what happened was I asked Jared if you guys had talked about it recently, and he said no. That's literally the entirety of the conversation. So, bro, I'm actually gonna fucking homie. Like, I love him for checking up on me and worrying about me in every other aspect, but I do not appreciate him trying to sabotage our friendship. Bro, I'm finna cry again. I'm gonna cry. I assume that's what she says. I'm gonna cry angry tears, and I'm beating his ass. Thank you for the information, kind sir. Also, I know this is already pretty known, but kept this between us because this between us because then he's gonna know that I came to you to ask if he was BSing me. I can't get my phone screen to turn on, but let's do the thing next week because I gotta leave soon I gotta leave soon to go be with grandma, I assume. Don't know how long I'm gonna be there. Okay, hope she's doing better. Also, yeah, of course, I won't say anything to Jared. Wow, you didn't read that till now, Lamafao. I kind of find it funny now I kind of find it funny how now it's just blatant lies, but oh Jesus Christ, oh my God.
She would have
Jesus
been
Christ.
underage if she's born in 2001. She says, hey, bitch, I have a question for you. He said, yeah, what's up? She says, so like, we're being honest here, Chief. I talked to Jared for an hour today, and he brought up you and my gay crush. Maybe I misunderstood this, but what he had told me is that you guys had talked about
English.
it in past
English
days
is
or
so
recently,
hard,
and you said
okay?
something along the
Sorry,
lines of, May
chat.
has absolutely no chance with me. I don't know if you did say that, but just sounds like something Jared
English
would
is
say.
hard.
He brought it up after how he was salty about that he was the last one to know about Wednesday. Plus, like, I don't know if you'll sketch since I legit brought up to you this week that that's what Jared's been saying to me for a hot minute. And the dude responds saying, actually what happened is I asked Jared if you guys had talked about it recently, and he said no. That's literally the entirety of the conversation. This is basically the idea that they're in the same area. They were going to meet up in person.
Let me see. Hey, question. Are you all still in the area? I finally got my family shit sorted, but I do want to at least say hi to you all. So if you all are still together, I'd probably just pop in with my brother and say hi and all. We're walking around the monuments right now. Okay, well, should I just call when I'm near? Cause I'll probably be another like 30 or so, question mark. Sure, I don't know exactly where we'll be, but yeah, if you're near, call me. Okay, cool. See you soon. Hopefully, let me follow.
She says, hey, question, are y'all still in the area? I finally got my family shit sorted, but I do want to at least say hi to y'all. So if y'all are still together, I'd probably just pop in with my brother and say hi at all. He says, we're walking around the monuments right now. She says, okay, well, should I just call when I'm near? Because it's probably going to be
Okay,
another
so
30
it's her.
or so.
She's
He
the
says,
green.
sure, I don't know
Okay.
exactly where we'll be, but yeah, if you're near, call me. She says, okay, cool. See y'all soon, hopefully. And here they show a picture of what looks like him in bed, chilling the freak out from Discord. Here they say, in this Google Drive folder, which is sleep call proof, we've collected more proof of sleep calls happening when the victim was a minor. This is information also corroborated by friends that were around to see some of these happen on their friend group server called Alcatraz. Here May says, at the do, we're going to bed, disconnect Laura since she fell asleep. This person, Laura, I believe, says, I fell asleep on call, Lamau at May. Here the do says, did you sleep? She says, no. He says, you ate in Alcatraz, which is this private server they had. May says, want me to come back? He says, let me go eat real quick first. May says, I was silent, so I left. Message me when you're done, gay boy. He says, I'm back. Here it says May started a call that lasted 122 minutes, which is, 2 hours roughly. So definitely was a long call. And here this just shows that he was in a Discord call at some point. They also write, let us not forget the amount of times the dude called a minor a thought and a white man's whore. Some examples of this being in this Google Drive folder. And we already saw all of those in the last one. But if we just pull this up real quick, there are a lot of instances of him saying stuff like that. Here he says, thank you, thought. I very much appreciate your kind words, but I already knew that. I'm incredible. Here she writes, okay, join the open lobby room so I can explain this shit to you.
Wait. Hold on. Can I go back real quick for that specific statement? Oh, you think I'm a nice person? Thanks for the ego boost. You're a good, you are good peoples. Thank you, Airwick. Because I'm an emotional person. I swear from the bottom of my heart that you're actually one of the most caring and nicest person I've ever met. That's how you compliment. Oh my fucking god, you gay as fuck. I'm blocking you again, Lamau. Thank you, Thought. I appreciate your kind words, but I already knew that. I'm incredible. You're welcome, son. I mean boyfriend. I mean Plake owner. Oh, stop boosting your ego. This is why I never compliment you. Okay, so at least from what I'm seeing here, anyways, at least from like the full context or so, right? Because you want to read the entire thing, right? It kind of sounds like more like, they're kind of shit talking to each other. This is definitely more like they're shit talking to each other. It's not really that crazy in my personal opinion, at least for this one, anyways. It just sounds like two people are just kind of like shit talking to each other. That's basically is what I'm getting off of this one.
But I already knew
like they're being
I'm incredible.
sarcastic
Here
with
she
one
writes,
another.
okay, join the open lobby room so I can explain this shit to you, not the one with people. He says, all right, 2 secs. Sorry for eating out abruptly. It was getting late and didn't want to wake up my family if it got much later. Also, you're a thought. So I'll be honest, after going through this section, this stuff is much more compelling than what was in the last document. It's much more organized. They have a lot of dates down. They have her specific age at, what time she was what. And I think this is something that the dude is going to have to respond to realistically if he wants to maintain his career, probably, because it doesn't look great if she's being truthful in the context of these DMs is what's being assumed, and she was the age that she's claiming to be. I mean, it's tough to dispute some of this stuff, but once again, we'll have to see how he responds. Now here they write, many have said this isn't grooming because they started dating when she was of age. Well, the last 4 Google Drive folders full of context, and the context that he had at least 1 explicit image saved of her on Snapchat for almost 2 years, show you that there was certainly grooming happening to have her grow attached to him. We also know he told her around the time that they started dating, which was about a month after she turned 18, that he had been fighting back feelings, and that when he came back on this trip, that he didn't intend for any of this. I wasn't going to to tell you, but I'm glad I did. Implying very heavily he had feelings for her when she was a minor, way before the trip in question happened. Again, this man's almost 8 years older than her. That's not normal.
Yeah.
And once again, this particular DM, I believe, was in the last...
It's so weird. It's just like, why are you interacting with someone who's like 8 years younger than you? Well, like, if they're older, if they're above the age of 18, it's fine. It's not a big deal. It's two consenting adults. But the big major thing is what I'm saying or so, right? Is the difference that it's 8 years apart, but the problem is that she's still a minor while he's in his mid-20s. That's the weird thing. That's basically, in this specific circumstances, it's weird. Like, why? Like, why are you interacting with someone who's a minor? Like that should be like the biggest red flag to any content creator. It should be like, no, I'm not interacting with a minor, period. Like that's it. Like, I just welcome to Earth Co. why is it so hard to just not interact with a minor or so? Like, I only interact with like one person, well, technically two, because of his wife, you know, which is Sage. Sage is like the only person I usually interact with the most. Sometimes I'll interact with my VTuber friends from time to time, you know, from here to there, you know. How hard is it to not want to fuck a kid? It seems to be the hardest thing to do for some. I guess I just don't see the I just don't see the appeal of like talking or being attracted to a minor. I just can't wrap my head around it. Like I just can't seem to like understand. I'm just like, why? It's just like, why? Their brains is located between their brains. Yeah, you know, you might be right, probably, actually. Easiest way is not to be a creep. It's not to be a creep to children. Don't interact with them. Duh. Like, honestly, it's just I don't understand. This is so fucking weird, dude. Dude.
Document, but with the further context we have with all the dates and with the new messages, this does recontextualize things. Here he says, I really wish our circumstances were different because I really have been fighting back feelings. Damn, like when we left each other, I was
like, okay, like I brought this subject up before, okay, right? Everybody knows that I'm a lolicon and a shotacon enjoyer, right? I read those stuff from time to time. I don't read them all the time, right? But I'm just like, for someone who's into real kids or so, right? Or like underage minors or so, right? Or into minors in general, I just can't seem to understand like why. Like what do you find them attractive? They're so immature. They're like little shitheads, to be honest. I'd rather yeet them across the map, in my personal opinion. Like, when I become a mother, you know, I'm gonna have to deal with my own kids or so, and I'm gonna be like, fuck, I'm gonna throw you kids out the window in a second, you know? It's just like, I just don't understand, like,
really sad
honestly.
about not seeing you for 8 whole months. She says, yeah, I'm seeing you before that. I don't care. He says, when I came on this trip, I didn't intend
Code
to
not
do this.
allowed to
I
have
wasn't gonna tell you shit.
opinions?
Here she says,
I guess
also, like, at
so.
one point,
I guess
we both have
so.
to think about this, but I'm really about to just go with the flow and see what life has in store. He says, I'm glad I did. She says, I'm very glad you did. He says, but what if we end up leading this on again? I'm gonna feel even worse this time because I've come to terms with myself now. Fuck. Here they write, we should state that the legal definition of grooming as a whole does not specifically have to be sexual in nature, as that would fall under the category of sexual grooming. As defined by rain.org, grooming can take place online or in person. It's usually employed by a family member or someone else in the victim's circle of trust, such as a coach, teacher, youth group leader, or others who naturally have some interaction with a victim. In the online world, a YouTuber fulfills the same position that a coach or teacher would in an in-person grooming environment. Grooming can happen
I
to
want
minors
kids.
and
I
adults
wanna
and
be a
vulnerable
mom,
adults
so.
for sexual, financial, or other legal reasons and goals. While there may be some case to be made there as far as grooming in other forms potentially happening to someone who's of age, I think when most people think grooming, they think somebody who's much older and somebody who's much younger, and that's what people are going to focus on here. And that's what I think the focus should be, right? Whether or not when she was 16, he received explicit images of her when he was in his mid-20s, basically, is the most damning claim going on here. And with these new Discord screenshots, there does seem to be some more stuff definitely showing that to me. But once again, he could respond, and maybe there's something we don't understand about this. Maybe the DMs are somehow all fake. I don't know. So take it with a grain of salt a little bit, but I would say there's definitely a lot more here that he needs to account for and respond to publicly, probably. Now, here they write, as stated several times now, if Blarg had taken up the call with the victim, the dude's ex-IRL friends, and the goon's Discord staff, he would have seen more than enough evidence that when connected shows a pretty clear case of
I can drop
just because
kick
the
him.
situation didn't end in IRL sexual
Now that's a
acts
good
doesn't mean it's
mom
not
right
grooming,
there.
because he certainly intended to have
sidetrack. If you don't drop kick your kid or so, you know, I'm just saying you're not a good mom. That's all I'm saying, you know.
Have it end that way, and that's also something Blarg would have heard and seen if he had been open to the call he got offered on numerous occasions. Being groomed with the goal of sexual acts once the victim is 18 is unfortunately quite the norm for online grooming cases. This call would have included the victim talking about her doing things because the dude preferred it, for example, with her appearance.
I don't know. It could be just because of my Hispanic side, but I kind of want a pretty big family. I don't know. Maybe that's just me and my personal opinion. I don't know. That's just me.
Essentially
That's
shaping
just
her
me.
into the person
So,
who would later
who
date
knows?
when she turned 18, including the dude telling her not to tell her parents about certain big life decisions, including applying to a school in
True,
the state.
you're not wrong,
Isolating a
huh?
victim
You're
from
not
the family
wrong.
on an emotional level is already
Not
a sign
wrong,
of grooming.
Zhao.
Encouraging them to be physically distant from their family is an even bigger sign of grooming. We cannot overstate how much just one call with the victim had all the people that are signing up.
Wait. Hold on. I just realized something. You said I want to be a mom, and I'm like, wait a second. Hello. You're a female? Question mark. I never knew, to be honest. If you are actually, granted, because I don't know everyone's gender here. That's the only reason why. No, it's because you said I wanna be a mom. That's why. My kids will learn to be a real Mexican. Of course, of course they're gonna learn the real Mexican way. You know, you're the worst mom if you simply just say no, stop it. Like, bro, that kid ain't gonna learn. That's true.
Off in this document, an agreement that this is a blatant case of
Three?
grooming. We also know that if
Yeah,
any
that's pretty
goons members
decent.
had
That's
been
not
open
too
to
bad.
contact with ex-mods of the do or his ex-IRL friends, they would have had
My
several
gender is
people
yes.
confirm situations such
Seems
as the sleep
reasonable.
calls, and on one occasion the do making the creepy joke, "I waited until you were 18, unlike what Carson did while mods were around." Some things simply can't be conveyed in a document, not even this one. Since part of the goons Discord staff and other signers of this document have seen what was sent and have seen all other context that Blarg would have gotten from getting into a call with the victim, we know the victim is being truthful with these allegations. While most people agree the public document was put together in a hasty and chaotic way, having seen what we have seen, it is without a doubt a very real and traumatizing experience that the victim went through. While we're on the topic of where the victim's document fell short, we'd also like to note that the reason many of the victim's screenshots said today in her own documents, this is something that I had a big question of, is that she backed up screenshots and other images frequently back then. Of course, someone young with a crush on another person will take screenshots of friendly or flirty interactions and show them to their girlfriends. We got to see the page
That's
where they were
true.
backed.
That's actually true. Actually, that is an actual true thing, because usually like girls are like super fans or something with like mega idols or something like that. You know, they usually like take pictures or like save text messages or something, like, and they send it to their girlfriends. And they're like, oh, look, he's flirting with me. Oh, he's asking me out. Oh, look at this, he took me out on a date. Oh my god. You know, it's just basically like, you know, that's true. That is 100% true, actually.
Up for ourselves and confirmed the dates for several other images, as well as the fact that a lot of other stuff was backed up by the victim back then that doesn't pertain to the do or Discord. Our belief that this is a real case of grooming is also backed up by the sheer amount of people that have corroborated in investigating the situation and with the proof provided, because they were actively around to witness the things mentioned.
You know, the biggest thing about this, right, is that the sheer amount of people that had corroborated in this investigation is with the proof provided. So there's multiple people who's working with her to grab the evidence and all this other stuff and everything. Because like if I remember correctly at the beginning or so, that some of the mods or so from the Discord also saw the evidence and everything like that, and they also corroborated. So to I assume to some extent or so about some DMs, some messages, and all this other stuff. This is looking very grim on the dude, to be honest, so far. So far, it's looking very, very grim. But at the same time, we also don't have the response from the dude about the situation itself. So
such as the sleep calls and the inappropriate flirting. Original members of the do Cord, original mods of the do Cord, and even some current members of their staff can testify to the reality and the severity of this incident. This next section is titled Corroboration from Ex-Friends.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Some people
Here we
that
go.
both knew the victim and the do back then, confirming that there was, in fact, a highly inappropriate relationship developing between him, the do, and the underage victim, with proof of do mentioning them from his original profile around 2017 and 18. Ricky and Kevin were friends with the do for several years before dropping their friendship with him after finding out about the inappropriate nature of the relationship and the clear grooming. Several members involved with this document got to see their old group chat on iMessages and on Snapchat and added it to this folder with extra proof. And here we have a bunch of screenshots here, basically a bunch of people claiming to be corroborating that this did in fact happen. Ricky's comment on the Reddit post mentioned earlier by Prudent Manor 9012 in this document already covers a lot. The Google Drive folder also shows that he's been friends with the dude back then, and him giving his consent for us to be able to use his Reddit comment in this document. Here's what Kevin/Papa Clock said, proof of do adding him around that time, and proof they had interacted privately is in the Google Drive. And here here, this part, one of the screen recordings, they show that he had added Pop O'Clock on Discord on January 10th, 2018. And this Pop O'Clock individual had this to say, apparently. I've known the dude since a little while after the release of Black Ops 2. I definitely knew him the longest out of our friend group. We were great friends before he blew up on YouTube. I don't know if it was the fame or relationship with May that he stopped hanging out with us as much. At some point, he'd spend a few days just to message me back. I had no idea why, since I didn't know about the relationship since our trip. It seemed wrong, but I had no idea when or what happened leading up to that point. As soon as I knew, I kicked him from my personal friend server, the guy I knew since late 2012. A little over 9 years of friendship is gone. Next, they write, here is
Damn. 9 years of friendship throwing out the window.
what Clarity said. Proof of them being active in the friend group back then is in the Google Drive. Alcatraz is the server of friends that the dude was also on back then. And May apparently was also in that server around that time, according to the previous document. And if we look here at this screen recording, they basically just show that he had added this Clarity person before, and they show their account here to just, once again try to establish that he had interacted with this person. So Clarity writes, I used to be a moderator for Discord back in 2017 and 2018 and was also on Alcatraz. I was friends with May and talked to her frequently during that time. I also talked to Eric a decent amount. She never talked to me about a relationship with Eric, but I knew she had a crush on him, like a harmless schoolgirl crush. I knew they would be in public calls a lot, but didn't really know how much they were really talking. I also didn't know that Eric was reciprocating May's feelings. The way that Eric talked to me was friendly and like an adult talking to an adult. From what I can remember, he never called me any offensive names and treated me like a friend and acquaintance. I ended up leaving Alcatraz before things got more serious between May and Eric. I didn't find out about how serious things actually got between them until after the relationship ended. I absolutely support May and the evidence she's provided. Rayo says, thank you so much, that's incredibly helpful. I'd like to add one question. You mentioned the fact she talked to you like an adult and not giving you offensive names because that is what he did with May, meaning he treated specifically her like this, correct? She says yes, her Discord name got changed a lot to offensive things, and from the evidence May had posted, I don't remember him ever calling me those kinds of things. In DMs and messages, he wouldn't necessarily try to be as edgy, like use crude humor and offensive jokes, as it seemed like he was with May, or as he was in Alcatraz. Now they have a message from someone called Jordan, and they say here is what Jordan said, and here in a screen recording from the same Google Drive they show that Jordan, this account, this person was apparently in the server, and they show that it's basically the same Discord users, what they're trying to establish here. Once again, like with all these other people, they're trying to show like Dude interacted with these people, they're people he knew, and they are all saying kind of the same thing. Hey, sorry, I completely forgot because I've been busy. I knew May back at the time when she and Eric had dated. I was also around before that time when Eric and May would talk with each other frequently, despite the massive age gap and her being underage at the time. I can corroborate the relationship they had when she was a minor. Whether it be romantic or not, it should always be considered inappropriate to spend as much time and attention as they did with the type of relationship they had. I remember when she told me about them being together and I was immediately disgusted and made it known that I found it creepy. From then on, I had a falling out with May for reasons I can't recall, but I still heard of her breakup with Eric from either mutual friends or herself. It's hard to remember. The last thing I have to say is that I support her and I can personally attest to the screenshots not being manipulated.
I don't know if this is some elaborate thing or so, but this ain't looking very good, to be honest.
For another person to corroborate this person is named Stav.
That's a lot of fucking people.
Another person who could corroborate a lot of this was Stav, who is also the victim's close friend, so we want to add that as a disclaimer. However, with her being a mod on the Do server around the time all this happened, it's still important input to add to this document. And here in this screen recording, they show that, the Do is in this particular server or chat, and Stavy Pie is in there with the same account apparently.
As someone who flirts with all my friends, I can never do that with someone who is underage. I interact with them very differently than with my friends. Yeah, you just like treat them as a kid, That's how it's like. Oh, you're so cute, give them a nice little head pat and be like, oh wow, yeah, nice. Oh, you had a good day. Oh, that's so good, I basically talk to them like they're some fucking kid or so. I talked to them if they're like a baby. It's like, oh, really? Oh, that's cool. No, that's nice. Oh, that's adorable. Oh, okay. All right. Oh, I see how it is. Oh, okay. And then I just go back to my friends and be like, yeah. Anyways, I just go back to my friends and we just do stupid shit, So he needs to start packing up. It's over for this guy. We have to wait what he says or so. We're not jumping into everything super because these are all allegations at the end of the day, right? We have to wait what the dude actually comes back. It is not, it's easy to not flirt with kids. Of course it is. Like, what the fuck, dude? Like, honestly, I just don't understand. It's an inside job. Case closed. Moving along.
Once again, just trying to establish that this person did know the do in some capacity, interacted with him on Discord, stuff like that. Here they write, I knew May through Eric's Discord server, Ducord. I started off as an active member and then got close with most of the staff, which led to me getting mod. Through that time, I started to realize the relationship was more than just admin and owner. I then became closer to May and the admins, which then revealed to me that they were dating, and she would share with us stuff going on in the relationship. He would join VCs at the time, showing clear affection to her. This was in private or mod staff's VCs. When I became close friends with her, that's when details started coming out about their relationship, and the whole Discord had speculations on them dating when she was still 17. He said a lot of inappropriate things to her at the time that we all played off as jokes because we didn't know how deep their relationship was. He said to her that he started seeing her as a woman when she was still under 18, and he said it was when she was developing physically, getting larger breasts and figure. After they broke up, she shared with me and a few other people all the information about their relationship, and that's when we saw how bad it was. When we, the close friends, found out, we urged her to cut ties and leave the server, which was a hard decision. After a lot of courage and then sharing with most of the staff what was going on, we all left Ducord in support of May, as well as we didn't want to support someone like that. He used to say so much stuff to her in private about how she should never come out with stuff about the relationship and how it would ruin him if people found out. He knew the consequences of his actions, he knew it was wrong, and yet he continued it. The next
Oh. Oh, wow. Okay, so he knew that the actions that he was doing is still bad, but he still fucking continued doing it. You actually can't be serious with me. Self-awareness, you know? Self-awareness. I guess he wanted to be Hollywood. I guess so.
Corroborating person they have is someone named Duck, and here Duck says, I met May back in 2015. I knew that May and Eric were close, but I didn't know the extent until I got closer with her after I became a mod in Ducord. The stuff that was said from his behalf was insane to me. I told her that this relationship wasn't right, but Eric is super manipulative, so he was able to get what he wanted. I remember when he would join the VC for like 2 seconds and just be like, May, I need to talk to you in private. They would then sit in that VC for hours on hours in a VC that no one can join. I found it creepy due to the fact that he would call her cute and beautiful from time to time in front of everyone. Shit was just creepy. When we would all be playing games, he would call her and make sure that she would stay on the phone with him so she would be in the background. She would have to mute her mic every time that she wanted to talk. She's told me a lot of the stuff that has happened between them when no one was there. He was talking some crazy shit that she showed me screenshots of during that time. Like them sleeping on the phone together and shit. Like, nah, she's a minor. I don't know, that shit just doesn't sit right with me. As much as I wanted to come out about all this, I couldn't at the time because she didn't want to come out, so I respected her wishes. But I always knew what a creep he was. Oh, let's not forget the fact that he would like to say she has the voice of an angel in voice chat, throwing up emoji. After this all, we got May to block him on everything to finally...
Ah, God, dude. Oh, God, dude. That's even cringe, too, as well. Oh, you have a voice of a goddess. You have a voice of an angel.
heal from his toxic
Christ.
ass. Now here they go on to write, this once again backs up that a majority of the old server staff left back in 2021 when they found out all of this was going deeper than they had initially suspected. The only reason the issue wasn't raised back then was because the victim wanted it to not be public and move on. This just further shows how the only reason we're talking about it now in September 2024 is the person that doxed her on Reddit in August. There are more people that we know will be willing to corroborate information, but we focused on the people that were closest to the situation. And this last section is called McNasty's lack of response to our mods and our resignation as longtime Goons Discord staff. During all of this, we've also attempted to contact McNasty, who the Goons Discord server belongs to, several times. Initially, the server staff wanted input on how to handle the situation on the server and wanted to see if he would like to potentially see more of the proof himself. To this day, the messages from the staff have remained unanswered. This is why all Goons staff members that were involved in the situation, knowing its severity and having seen firsthand the honesty the victim has shown throughout this incident, are stepping down as staff members together. We cannot, with good conscience, support these repeated inactions from the Goons members, and the vehement refusal to have an open and full conversation with both us and the victim, who has now officially stepped away from this for her own safety and mental health and her loved one's safety after being doxxed further and receiving countless death threats. We can't ignore that the two most vocally anti-groomer and pro-victim Goons members have undoubtedly and entirely failed the victim in several ways, by refusing a call or further personal investigations with her friends who can corroborate some of the evidence, and with the Goon staff member, including helpers who were both directly provided more of the evidence. The victim was forced to clear her story after being doxxed, and due to the do openly denying the allegations from said doxer. With those circumstances in mind, the fact she was never given the chance to be listened to in a fully supportive environment is something we disagree with wholeheartedly. We want to see the situation resolved. Since the victim currently deserves a break after having her entire story publicly dismissed several times, we hereby invite any Goons member to a call with the people involved with this document to help resolve the situation in a way that is agreeable to all sides involved. The signees include people you have worked with prior that have proven their professionalism. Members of your community have been around from the start, and a social worker that is equipped for such conversations. If any members of the Goons group would like to take us up on this offer, please reach out through your recognizable business email. emails. So after reading this entire new document, which was very long, so congratulations if you reached this far, I would say that this is much more convincing than the last one for sure. I think that probably the do should try to debunk this. If there's some kind of, I don't know, lies in here, if these screenshots are fake, I think you should try to debunk it for sure. If all the claims are real, if all the screenshots are completely real, if there's no further context, I think that's really fucked up. And I think that, you know, doesn't sound like a great guy. But ultimately, I'm curious what you guys think about this. Obviously, there's a lot of information here to parse through. It's kind of like an information barrage, but such is the nature of a situation like this. So I'm curious what you guys think. Once again, I would encourage you to go into this with the idea that these are still, for legal reasons, allegations completely. And, you know, I don't want to condemn anyone publicly because there is still some kind of possibility that maybe there could be more to the story. But as of now, it seems like this is a very comprehensive document, and I think some kind of response is probably warranted. Anyway, that's about all I got to say. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Goodbye.
So the only screenshot that we saw or so, right, is where they were both shit talking each other. That literally just looked like two people shit talking each other, right? It really really didn't look like anything too serious, but who knows at the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, it's all allegations, right? What do I think about this? This definitely does not look good on the actual situation for the dude. It does definitely paint him in a pretty bad limelight. Not especially having multiple I guess witnesses or so coming out and speaking on the situation. That's number one, right? The amount of screenshots, the video recording, and also asking like also the moderators basically stepping down or so, like quitting, you know, being mods or so for the Discord server and saying like, no, this is definitely not cool. And she was also willing at the same time, being in private calls, show multiple times about the situation itself. And apparently the Blarg person, I think that's what his name was, didn't want to see any of it, and decided to say, no, these are all fake, these are not real, because, you know, I guess he's close with his homeboy, the dude or so, right? So I guess he just doesn't believe them and he thinks they're fake or something like that. And I don't know, to be honest. I'll be honest with you, it is pretty crazy. Bro would have won that shit talk battle if he busted out that gay freestyle video you saw way back. Yeah, that would be funny too. Honestly, like after seeing like the people who collaborated or so, right? The people who are like collaborating with this actual like evidence and everything, then saying like, yeah, no, like we completely cut ties with him or so. It's kind of interesting to hear. I want to hear what the dude has to think about. Like, I'd be very curious what he's going to address about the situation. We'll have to be waiting for a couple days, maybe a week or something, while he's trying to while he's trying to gather evidence and everything. And yeah, no, 100%. Like, he was also self-aware of his actions or so. On top of that, right, of saying that like, yeah, you know. I knew this is wrong, but I still kept doing it anyways, and it's kind of like, that's not good at the end of the day. And I'm just like, bro, dude, you're like, this is the one other thing too, is like, the dude is a famous YouTuber. I was like, why don't you just get a woman around your age? I just don't understand what seems to be the problem, you know? Yeah, he's doing for real now, unless he got some crazy like as fuck 180 evidence. And yeah, that's the only thing, is like he disproves the evidence, you know. This is like, this is fake because this is the real one, and then this, and then this, and then that, and then this, you know. But I don't know, man. She also brought like video footage too as well, to kind of like tell people, but like, yeah, these are not fake. These are not fake. Here, look, I'll even show you the video for it too as well. So I don't know, man. He needs like 3-hour video to debunk everything. I have no idea, to be honest. It definitely looks pretty fucking bad. I'm gonna be honest with you. This looks super bad. Very, very, very bad in my personal opinion. Yeah, we just only have to sit back and wait and see what happens, because I know for a fact that a lot of people are going to be talking about this situation. I don't know if anyone else is going to be talking about this situation, but like, I know Tom Dark or so talked about it. What a great video. It was definitely a great video. I'm glad that that there was an update to the situation itself, because we were going to watch the other video originally, right? About the dude, because it was right about here, right? It was like 1 month ago, right? And well, lordy behold, we got an update on the situation itself, and now it's No, this is just brand new. So this is definitely pretty bad in my personal opinion. Imagine that he goes, this is fake, this is the real evidence, and then the real evidence ends up being more worse. Who knows, actually. It's gonna be real fucking hard to see what's going on here, so. At this point, unless she says it's fake and everyone involved says it's fake, I don't know what evidence will pull out of his ass. And at the same time, she didn't reveal all of the evidence. Remember, there are certain evidence that's only been shown in private DMs and private calls. So all the evidence is still not out there. So she still technically has some evidence still holding within before, you know, basically blowing this, you know, blowing this lid out of the can, you know. I would assume these are probably gonna be some game-changing as fucking evidence if she actually shows this, and to kind of like, well, you know, not looking so good, you know. So yeah, anyways, that was a very interesting video, you know. I wanted to watch this a while back or so, but I didn't get the chance to. But since there's an update, well, to be honest, I didn't even know there was going to be an update on this situation. But since there's an update on this, right? God damn, it's an hour-long video. Holy shit, though. But yeah, it was a good video. I hope anyone enjoyed, you know, kind of like listening to it. Well, I didn't talk too much about it on the situation because, like, I don't know anything about it. I know who the dude is. He's the guy with the old Mako who plays a guitar and shit, and he played on, like, I think he played on Call of Duty too as well, and all this other shit, you know. And well, you know, I didn't even know this was going on, in my personal opinion, with this you know, this whole allegation for the dude. And yeah, I don't know, that's pretty much it. But anyways, you guys can comment, like, subscribe, do all that fancy jazzy stuff, and you know, you guys let me know down in the comment sections what you guys think about this situation, you know. Never heard of the dude? Oh, I've heard of the dude before. I've seen his videos before, but after learning about this is definitely not looking very good. YouTubers and controversy. I'm just, at the end of the day, man, just don't talk to minors, bro. Like, honestly, it's just not that hard, man. At worst, this will end up with him dying, and then someone spills the beans that the allegations are all fake or something. No. I think the worst part about it is that his reputation is gonna go down the shitter, to be honest. That's going to be the worst part, is that his reputation is, you know, when they find out that these evidence are true and everything, his reputation is going to go, it's just going to implode on itself because of that. So I don't know, man. It's just come on, dude. It's not hard. Don't talk to minors, man. The reputation is definitely tarnished. It's not going to be the same anymore once people, you know, once this video goes out even more further to more eyes of people out there. But yeah, that was a good video. That was actually a great video. Like I said, Tom Dark makes some good videos, you know. Like I said, you know, it's very interesting to just to listen and to get updates or so on situations that, you know, on a more, like, I guess you could say on like a more in-depth or so, right? Because he kind of like reads the documents. And I also read the documents too, because we read the documents for another certain situation a while back, a long time ago. So Tom Light is the alter ego. Okay, buddy. But yeah, anyways, it's pretty much it. And yeah, I'm gonna I can't even think of a witty outro for this one. But yeah, like I said, that's the end of the video. And